on NBC.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the NBC Game of the Week. We are at Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota for the game between the Boston Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Dave Galt's on the mound for the Twins, Chuck Rainey on the mound for the Red Sox. And I'll see if I can't get this a little bit better so we can see the line score there at the end there. Let's bring this over here just a tad. I think that fits most everything. I do have the game to score on an old score sheet, so I can keep track of that. I was going to do it on an Action PC, but decided not to. Decided to do it this way instead. Kind of old school, so to speak. Hello, Ben. Hello, Brian B. and Joel and Kenyon. Good to see all of you. And let's see. I think I need to go just touch further down here to get this line score in there. Oh, I guess that's about as good as I'm going to get it. I think it's about as good as it's going to get right there. Like that movie with Jack Nicholson, that's as good as it gets right there. So we'll go with it. Dave Galtz and Chuck Rainey are your starting pitchers in this one. Went back to this dice tray. The dice tray I ordered from Amazon was supposed to get here yesterday, but it's running late. It's supposed to get here later today. So I don't really want to. I really don't want to roll these things manually. So we'll live with this loud dice tray one more day and move on with it. And what first thing we will do? Hello, Jeremy. First thing we'll do is roll the bullpen sessions for both starting pitchers. First, we'll start with Dave Galtz. And, of course, I always forget something, so I need to get the markers. Need to get the markers so we can mark what grade level they are both at. First with Dave Galtz. He is an 18, so he's on his C grades. And then Chuck Rainey, 13, he is on his B grades. So Chuck Rainey on the B grades and Dave Galtz, unfortunately for him, on his C grades. We'll see how that plays out in the actual game. Let's see, I think I got everything where I would want it, hopefully. Got our charts and everything else to the side. Jeremy, I ordered one off of Amazon. It's supposed to be arriving, like I said, it was supposed to get here yesterday. But I guess they had some issues, so to speak. But that's the one I ordered, this one right here. That's what I ordered. It's supposed to be quiet and take up little space. It even comes with dice, supposedly. But $14.99, I figured I couldn't, or $14.49 actually. So I figured, hey, what if it doesn't work out? I'll just put felt on this and drive on. But I thought I wanted something maybe a little bit quieter. Not sure why all of a sudden the noise in the dice tray was bothering me, but it was. And surprisingly, this late in the day, I still have one cup of coffee I haven't drank yet or haven't consumed yet. So we'll have the ceremonial first sip in this game as well. Do have the team sheets here, one for Minnesota and one for Boston. So we'll be referring to those as needed. Went with simple little dice today to try to minimize the noise as much as possible. Hopefully they show up okay. I'm assuming this blue one will, yeah, it looks like it should show up okay. I wasn't going to go with red, but I decided to go with blue. All right. So Jerry Remy will lead things off. Interesting lineup. Fisk is back for the Red Sox, but he's the designated hitter in this game. Gary Allenson is the catcher. So they have Fisk at DH and Gary Allenson catching. Everything else looks pretty normal for the Red Sox. All right, Goltz to Remy, and we're underway. That's an 11 for Remy, and that's going to be a walk because the 1 to 14 would be a single. That's a 20, so it's a walk, and he's got a plus, which means he has a chance to steal second and third consecutively. So first of all, Remy will draw the walk, and then we'll check out his stolen base prowess. Butch Weiniger, the catcher for the Twins, has a strong arm, though, so that's going to deduct 2 from the safe chance. As we look at the stolen base section that I use, anyway, the one I like to use, the automated stealing. But it says on this, optional, but I use it, just a stolen base success chance, strong arm decreases by -2. So since Weiniger has a strong arm, we're going to take Jerry Remy's stolen base chance, which is a 12, and reduce it down to a 10. So it's a 1 to 10 for Jerry Remy to successfully steal second base. And he's got thrown out because of the -2 from Weiniger. He threw him out. Had Weiniger had an average arm, he would have been safe. But Weiniger with the strong arm throws him out, and that's 1 away. So Remy caught stealing, and that'll bring up Rick Burleson. Brian B., you got this. If you got something similar to this for $10, you did really good. I'm cheap as can be. Nobody's cheaper than I am. Nobody is cheaper than I am. I'm about as cheap as you can get. All right, here is Rick Burleson. 15 for Burleson. That's an out, and a 9 is going to be a fly ball to right field. Hauled in out there by Hoskin Powell. 2 down for Fred Lynn. That's a 34, and on Goltz, that's going to be a base hit off the C grade. Actually, 34 is a base hit everywhere, no matter who you are. So 2-out single for Fred Lynn, and that's going to bring up the cleanup man, Jim Rice. 39 homers, 130 runs batted in this particular season. 26, so we get the, 62. I got to remember to do color first. 62. I'm thinking History Golf doing lowest to highest, but it's 62. 1 to 2 is a strikeout. That's a 15, so it won't be a strikeout. It will instead be a fly to center, and that will end the inning. You play different games. Sometimes you start to mix games one with the other. So Red Sox come away empty-handed. They get nothing and like it. And we go to the bottom of the first. And it will be Boston nothing, Twins coming to bat, and Chuck Rainey using his B grades. And ironically, when we did the Red Sox 2 weeks ago, I believe Chuck Rainey was a starter for that one as well against the Yankees. Just how it came up on the rotation, that's all. All right, so here's Hoskin Powell, right fielder for the Twins. We get a 63, and that's going to be an out. And an out and a 10 with the bases empty to line out to the outfielder by the white die, which is a 3. So that's a hard line drive, but right to Freddie Lynn for 1 away. 1 down for Rob Wilfong. That's a 15, and that's an out. Another 10. This time the white die is a 5, so he lines it to right field. 2 down for Roy Smalley. 35, and that's going to be an out. That's a 1, so it's going to be ground out right back to Rainey. So that's going to end the inning 1, 2, 3. We go to the second, no score from the Met. I think they used to affectionately call it the Met. Metropolitan Stadium. All right, here's Yaz. Hello, Joe. Yaz, 53 for Yaz. That's a range check, unless the KD, but that KD is way too high for that. So we get our first range check of the day. And we'll see who that's supposed to be on. Reroll that on the range check. And we get a 33, and that is on the first baseman. In this case, that's Ron Jackson. So Ron Jackson at first base. Look at his range. He's a 12. That's a 10, so Jackson will get to it. He'll get to it, and he'll flip to Galt's covering for the out, and Yaz is out of there. Nice play, Ron Jackson. Here is Carlton Fisk. He is the designated hitter in this game. 65, that's a straight-up home run chance. That's a 9. His home run allowance is an 11 as a C grade, so that's gone. I mean, it should have been, yeah, it was Fisk. I don't know why that was Jazz. This is Fisk. Fisk, 65 is a home run. There's no subtraction there. 1 to an 11, it's out of here. Home run, Carlton Fisk. Pudge Fisk takes Galt's deep. Had Galt's been on his A or B grades, that would have been an out. But on his C grades with a 1 to 11, the 9 fit. And the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Hello, Robert. Here's Hobson, 51, and that's going to be an error check because the 3 is still higher than the KD there. So we're going for an error check. And we get a 56, which is an error check on the third baseman. And that is going to be John Castino. We'll see what his error rating is at third base. Castino's error rating is a 6. That's a 4. So he will boot it. E5 on Castino. And that'll put Hobson on first with 1 out. 1 run already in for Dewey Evans. We get a 54, and then we're going to the dreaded 54 chart with people on base. So that's a 3. Come over here and see if the 3 is within the wild pitch rating. You would think it would be. His wild pitch is a 10. Now let's see if it's a pass ball. Weiniger would need a pass ball rating of 3 or less to fit it in there. His pass ball is his pass ball is a 1. He would have to have a 3 or higher for that to go in there. So it will not be a pass ball. It will be a wild pitch. So Galtz tosses the wild pitch. Evans still at bat. 15 is going to be an out. That's a 3. So we go to the runner on second chart. And an out 3. And it's with a right-handed batter. It says ground out to third, runners hold. So ground ball to third, and holding on to play is Hobson. 2 down now. And that brings up number 9 hitter Gary Allenson. We had a 12, and that's an out. 5. And as a right-handed hitter, he grounds to third again. So another ground out to end the inning. But the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead, courtesy of the home run from Carlton Fisk. Go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Red Sox. And leading off for the Twins will be Ken Landreau. And I don't know, do you guys like this setup I've got, or would you prefer just to see the score sheet? I mean, I don't know how much. This is my closest I can get to accoutrements. I'm sorry. I'm not very high tech, so this is as close as it gets for accoutrements. All right, here is Landreau. 32, and that's going to be an out on Rainey. 5, we go back to bases empty on a 5. Probably a ground ball to third, I would imagine. But, yep, it sure is. No, actually, with a left-handed batter up, it's going to be a ground ball to first. And he's going to throw it to the pitcher covering. So it's 3-1. So Yaz will flip it to Rainey for out number 1. And here comes Glenn Adams, designated hitter. 61, and that's going to be a strikeout, 1-16. That's a 12. He's out of here on strikes. First strikeout for Rainey. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Ron Jackson. 15, and 15's an out. That's going to be a fly to left to end the inning. So fly to left. 1, 2, 3, we go. And in case people are fans of seeing score sheets, there's a score sheet for the first 2 innings. So you can see that I am keeping score. If I don't keep score, I'll get lost. All right. Here is Jerry Remy. He walked and was caught stealing first time up. That's a 12, and that's going to be a walk on a 1-9, and he does walk. No plus sign there, so there won't be a stolen base attempt, but the walk is good for sure. Leadoff walk to Jerry Remy. Brings up the rooster, Rick Burleson. Not to be confused with the red rooster, Terry Taylor. 51, and that's a 2, though, but that's still above the KD because of his C grade. He can't stop it, even with a 2. So we are going to the error chart. 51 error chart. And we're looking at 15 again. We're looking at the pitcher, Dave Goltz. So his error rating is an 8, and that's a 7. His error rating's an 8, and that is a 7. So he does not make the error. He will make the play. Let's see here. Actually, I mean, I've got this backwards. When you don't play a game for a while, you get it backwards sometimes. It says if the D20 is less than or equal to the error rating of the fielder, he makes an error. So obviously he did make an error. He is an error rating of, did we say he was an error rating of 8, I believe? The pitcher, yep. Goltz is an error rating of 8, and that's a 7. So it will be an error. And so let's see here on the 51. Or 15, I mean. It's a 1 star, so it's a 1 base error. 1 base error, and that'll put runners at first and second. Second error of the game on the Twins already. Nobody out, and the big boy is coming up, Fred Lynn. You're right, Joe. You should be keeping score. You should be. 13's a walk to Lynn. That's going to load the bases. Bases are loaded. Third walk issued by Goltz. He's had a iffy outing to this point. Bases loaded, nobody out. What do you do? And you got Jim Rice coming up. That's not a pleasant. Hello, Dr. D. That's not a pleasant experience for any pitcher. It's still early, so they're going to play back for a double play. They desperately need some outs. He needs a strikeout in the worst way. 45. That's an out. That's a 6. So we go to bases loaded with the infield back. Might be a double play. Let's see here. 54 is an out with a 6. I'm sorry, 45 is an out with a 6, and it says it's a double play, but a weak arm shortstop only gets a fielder's choice. Let's make sure. I don't think Smalley is weak armed. He's average arm, so it will be a double play. 6-4-3. The run does score, but now there are 2 outs, and the Twins trying to minimize the damage. 6-4-3. That is a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. And now with just the runner at third in Burleson, we got Yastrzemski. It's 2-0 Red Sox, but it could have been a lot worse. It still can be because Yaz is still batting. We get a 22, and that's going to be a walk. So yet another walk issued by Goltz. That's his 4th walk of the game. And we haven't even finished 3 innings yet. Here's Fisk. He homered for the only run of the game up to this point until this double play just scored a run. 21 for Fisk. That's going to be an out, and a 6 with the runners on the corners is probably just a regular old ground out to short, which it is. And that's going to end the inning. So the Red Sox have the bases loaded with nobody out and only come away with 1 run. So I would say the Twins got a moral victory there. They stay in the game, 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. For Butch Weiniger, 44 for Weiniger, and that's a base hit. First hit of the game for the Twins, first base runner, period. As Rainey had retired 6 in a row to start the game. But Weiniger, solid base hit. And now that's going to send up John Castino. 43. And for Rainey, that's an out. That's a 13. Runner on first and a 13. With a right-handed batter. It's a ground out to short, fielder's choice, but a strong arm second baseman turns a double play. Let's see if Remy has a strong arm. Strong arm second baseman will turn a double play. Remy has a weak arm, actually, so it'll just be a fielder's choice, 6-4. They'll get the lead dog, and that's it. So Castino takes over as the new runner at first base. And there's one away for the left fielder and number 9 hitter, Bombo Rivera. 36, and that's going to be an out G, so we'll have a ground out. That's a 5, so it's probably ground out anyway, which it is. Ground out to third. Let's see here. Strong or average arm third baseman starts double play. So let's see if Hobson's a strong or average arm. You would think he would be. Hobson is an average arm, so that will be a double play. 5-4-3 around the horn. That will take care of business and get the Red Sox out of the inning. One double play in the top half of the inning deserves a double play in the bottom half. And at the end of 3, it's 2-0 Red Sox. And with that double play, Rainey has faced the minimum. Go to the top of the 4th. Butch Hobson, who started that double play, 56, and that's going to be a strikeout for Goltz. That's his first strikeout. He'd walked 4, but that's the first strikeout of the game. 56s in this game are universally, almost 99% of the time, universally strikeouts. Here's Evans, 51, and we've got an error check because the KD number is way too high. So we're going for an error check under the 51. And we get a 26, and that's an error check on the shortstop, Smalley. Smalley's error rating. Roy Smalley's error rating is a 7. That's a 3, so he'll boot it. That's the 3rd error of the game. 3rd error of the game on the Twins, and Evans will reach on the E6. Brings up Gary Allenson with 1 out and a runner at first. Hello, Mr. Utah Mike. 52, so we're going to another error check. 46, and it's an error check on the second baseman, Rob Wilfong. We'll check his error rating. Wilfong's error rating is a 6, but that's a 13, so he will make the play. And it's an odd D20, so since it's an odd D20, it's a double play. So 4-6-3, and that will end the inning. Another Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play, 4-6-3. Score remains 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. And back to the top of the order for the Twins, Hoskin Powell will lead things off. Hoskin Powell. For some reason I can't get this thing to... See if I can raise this up just a hair so I can get everything in. Keep having a hard time getting the line score and the cards all in there. I think that does it now. I think that's as close as I'm going to get. All right. So that'll bring up Hoskin Powell. 16 for Powell, and that is an out, and that's a 17. So with bases empty, he flies. Well, 17 pretty much is a fly to left all the time. One away for Rob Wilfong. That's a 35 on Rainey, and that's an out. That's an 8. Fly ball to center. 2 quick outs for Roy Smalley. 43, and that's an out. So that'll be a fly to left. So 3 fly outs. Quick, easy, down and dirty inning for, I'm sorry, I bumped the table there. Easy, down and dirty inning for Chuck Rainey. He's thrown 4 shutout innings. And the Red Sox still maintain a 2-0 lead going to the 5th. Goltz back out, facing Remy. Top of the order. Remy's walked twice, 46. And this time on a 46, that's the ballpark card. First time going to Metropolitan Stadium. And the D20 is a 1. That's a home run for Jerry Remy. How do you like that? The D20 Devil Die is a 1. And there you go, 1-2. If 0 home runs on his card, and he actually, it's not going to be a home run for Remy. I withdraw that because on the card it says if no home run, third base, if no home run, triple, or double, 0 on card, use out code 8. So he's got an out card. He's got a no home run, so that's an out card 8. So that's basically like in Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced. He's a weak power, so it will not be a home run. It will be a fly to center, and Goltz is certainly appreciative of the fact that he gave that up to a weaker hitter. Hello, Corzicant. Here's Burleson, 46. We're right back to the ballpark again. Second time in a row. And a 12 is a foul out. 11-16 will be foul outs, and we got a 12. So he fouls it out to the first baseman. Fouls it out to Ron Jackson. 2 up, 2 down on the ballpark cards. Both at bats. Here's Fred Lynn. That's a 23 for Lynn, and he strikes out to end the inning. So an easy inning there for Goltz. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 2-0 Red Sox behind Chuck Rainey's 1-hit pitching. He's giving up 1 hit, and that's it. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's Kenny Landreau. 42, and that's going to be a walk for Rainey. That's his first base on balls that he's issued. Landreau at first. And designated hitter Glenn Adams at the plate. 36, and that's going to be an out. G, possible double play here. That's a 4. So with a runner on first, it's an out to second base. Let's see here. It says white die 1, runner. Well, the white die is not a 1. Weak arm second base gets fielder's choice only. So let's see. This is a second baseman, weak armed. I think we looked at it once before. Jerry Remy does have a weak arm, so it will not be a double play. They're saying it's a 4 unassisted to get the lead runner. So it will be 4 unassisted fielder's choice. And Adams is your new runner. And here's Ron Jackson. 31, and that's would be a single, but I'm using Replay Gamer's homebrew of a range check on 31s. So we're going to have a range check instead. And we're looking at 15, so it's a range of Fred Lynn. What is Fred Lynn's range? Should get to that because that's only a 3. Fred Lynn certainly should have a better range than that. He does. He has a 12. So Fred Lynn will make that catch. No problem. So 2 down, and that's going to send up Butch Weiniger. Adams at first, 2 outs. 41, and that's a walk. So another walk for Rainey, his second of the inning. That puts runners at first and second with 2 outs for John Castino, third baseman. 54, we're going to the dreaded 54 chart. Checking for the wild pitch. That's a 5. Probably will be a wild pitch. Rainey's wild pitch rating is a 10. Now we're just checking to see if it's a pass ball or not. And a pass ball on Allenson is a 6. That's a 5, so it will be a pass ball on Allenson. Will not be a wild pitch. It'll be a pass ball on Allenson. And that will move the runners up 90 feet. Tying runs are in scoring position. And Castino has another chance. That's a 22. That's a base hit on a single. So we'll check runner advancement. Second and third, single. And the D20 is a 10. Go to the base hit chart. It's an infield hit, it says. So they hold at third. So the runner on second will have to hold at third on an infield hit. But the Twins get on the board. RBI single from John Castino. And the pass ball played a big part in that. That would be bases loaded normally. But the pass ball put the runners up 90 feet, and they took advantage of it. Cuts the lead to 2-1, 2 outs, and Bombo Rivera, the batter. 23 for Bombo, and he strikes out. But the Twins at least get on the board and cut the lead to 2-1 after 5 complete. A little bit sloppy play there for Rainey, walking those guys. And the pass ball on Allenson cost him a run. So we go to the 6th. It'll be the big guy, Jim Rice, leading things off, followed by Yaz and Fisk. 33 for Rice, and that is going to be a double 1-3. That's a single plus on a 7. So he will attempt to steal because of that plus. It's an automated stealing system. Rice's stolen base number is a 14, but remember, Weiniger has a strong arm, so that reduces to a 12. So 1-12, and he'll steal second base. And he does. So stolen base for Jim Rice. So Rice with a base hit and a stolen base. Gets in scoring position right away with nobody out for Mr. Yaz. 63 on Goltz is an out, and that's a 2 with a runner at second, which is a fly out to center field. White die runner advances to third. If it's a white die 1 and he's fast, but the white die is a 3, so he has to hold at second base. Rice was considered fast, so had that been a 1 on the white die, he would have tagged up and went to third, but not to be the case. Brings up Carlton Fisk. He's homered and grounded to short. 54, going back to the dreaded 54 chart. And that's a 5, so that's not good either because you're looking at another wild pitch on Goltz because he's a 10. And let's check Weiniger to see. I don't think this fits in Weiniger's pass, but no, Weiniger's only a 1 pass ball. So it'll be a wild pitch on Goltz. And that'll move the runner to third with less than 2 outs. So the infield's going to come in. That's the second wild pitch on Goltz. Now the infield is in. 13, that's an out X with a runner at third. And the infield in, and an 8. Runner on third. And an 8. Fly out to center field, runner holds. Fast runner can run with risk. Well, we already saw that Jim Rice is fast, so he can run with risk. The fly out went to center, so the center fielder arm for the Twins is Ken Landreau. He has a weak arm, so that's going to make it a whole lot easier to run with risk. A 1-2, he's out. 3 through 6, he'll be safe. And he's safe. So sacrifice fly from Carlton Fisk. And they figured the gamble was worth it since the center fielder Landreau had a weak arm. Sacrifice fly puts the Red Sox another run in front. They lead at 3-1. 2 outs now. Base is empty for Butch Hobson. 15 for Hobson. He's out on a ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. But the Red Sox get that run back that they just gave up. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-1 Red Sox. And due up for the Twins, it'll be the top of their order, Powell, Wilfong, and Smalley against Rainey. 15, and that's an out, and that's a 18, so it's a fly to center. 1 away for Rob Wilfong. Hello, Ernest. Hello, Dan. Wilfong at 11 isn't even on the wow. Usually 11s would have been hits, but it's even though it's a 313 hitter, they still give him an out. So that's interesting. Out with a 12, and a 12 is a pop out to the white die, which is a 1. So he's going to pop it up to, as he is a left-handed hitter, he'll pop it up to third. Pops it up to Hobson, 2 down very quickly for Roy Smalley. 66 for Smalley, a home run 1-12, and that's gone. That's gone with a 5. Rainey has no minus home runs anywhere, so that home run's going to stand. Roy Smalley goes deep. He had 24 home runs in the real season, and he cracks one right here. Look at it again, that apple-like 66. 1-12 is a home run, and that's a 5. So that is out of here. Roy Smalley cuts the lead to 3-2. And here's Landreau. 13, he's out. 13 there is a ground out to first. Yaz will flip it to Rainey covering to end the inning. 3-1 if you're scoring at home, and you know you should be. So at the end of 6, as my Sharpie's about ready to die. End of 6, it's 3-2 favor of the Red Sox. Nip and tuck here at Metropolitan Stadium. Looking ahead to next week, I can find my little schedule. Oh, it's down here. Next week on the NBC Game of the Week, we'll be in Kansas City at Royal Stadium for the Yankees and the Royals. Bring out the old AstroTurf of Royal Stadium. All right. Now, Goltz has faced 25 batters. He can face 32. So he hasn't reached fatigue yet. Here's Evans. 65. That's a home run chance for Evans. That's a 12. Boy, Goltz just sneaked out of there. His home run's a 1 to an 11. That's a 12. So we'll see what the out is. The out instead is going to be a ground ball to short, I do believe. Yep. So Evans just missed that chance. 1 away for Gary Allenson. 12 for Allenson's out. That's a fly to center. So I don't know. I almost feel like it's hard to tell because I can't hear it over the air or on YouTube or whatever, but it almost feels like using these smaller dice makes the dice tray a little bit less loud, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and figure it out. All right. Here's Jerry Remy. 51. We're going to an error check. 51 error check because obviously the 9 is higher than his KD of 1. So checking the error. And that's a 63. We're checking the error of Smalley. We've already had 3 Twins errors to date. Smalley's error rating is a 7. That's a 2. That's another error. That is the 4th error on the Twins, second one by Smalley. They have been snake bit by the errors in this game. And that'll send up Rick Burleson. That's a 36 for Burleson, and that's a single. So with the runner at first, the runner advancement on a 15. Says it's hit to center field, to third if a weak arm. if 2 outs advanced on the average arm. So there are 2 outs. So in center field, Landreau has a weak arm anyway, so it didn't matter. So they will go first to third on this. So the base hit by Burleson. Remy scoots over to third base. A 2-out rally by the Red Sox. After the first 2 were out, all of a sudden they got something cooking, and they got Fred Lynn coming up. Goltz now has faced 29 batters. Like I said, he can face 32. So we might start seeing some action in the Twins bullpen. Just so you know, these are the guys that are available to pitch out of the bullpen. We have 2 lefties, Mike Baksick and Ken Brett. They're available as lefties. Pete Redfern, Gary Serum, and the closer, Mike Marshall. Those are the guys available out of the bullpen. So Mike Baksick, a lefty, is loosening in the Twins bullpen. But they're going to see if Goltz can get Fred Lynn out of here. 2 outs, 2 on. 35, and that's a single, so he can't do it. We go to runners at the corners. Hit chart, and that's a 6. So it says to right field, advance to third. If 2 outs, all advance. Okay, so it's going to stay runners at the corners on that base hit. Unearned run comes in. Red Sox take a 4-2 lead. Every time the Twins get one back, the Red Sox come back and get another one. Here's Jim Rice. This will be the last batter that Goltz will face. If he doesn't get Goltz, they will bring in Baksick to face Yastrzemski. But Goltz will face Rice. Rice is 1 for 3. 35, and that's going to be another base hit. 17. Left field assist chance at third if 1 out, otherwise holds at second. Batter stays at first. Okay. So he's going to hold at second. But it's another RBI single, and that's going to be it for Goltz. His day is done. And Mike Baksick will be coming on to pitch in back of Goltz. Left-hander Mike Baksick will be coming on to face Freddie Lynn. I'm sorry, to face Carl Yastrzemski with first and second and 2 outs here in the 7th. And we get a bullpen session for Mr. Baksick. Baksick, real stats for the season. He was 4-2 with a 4.39 ERA, a 1.38 WHIP. But his ERA was 4.39. All right, Baksick, bullpen session 4. He's on his A grades. So Baksick will be facing Yaz. 63, and that's an out, and that's a 5. So runners at first and second with the 5. And he is a lefty batter. He grounds it to first. Jackson will throw to Baksick covering to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Red Sox, and they take a 5-2 lead into the 7th inning stretch. 5-2 ball game, and now we can close the book on Goltz. He's going to give up 5 runs. Let's see how many were earned or unearned. Let's see here. That one's unearned. That one's unearned. So it looks like 3 of the 5 are earned. So 5 runs, 3 earned. He's going to go 6 2/3. And he's going to give up, let's count out the hits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He only gave up 6 hits, but he walked so many, plus those 4 errors. Let's see how many he walked. He only struck out 2, but he ends up walking 5. So not a good outing for Colts, as it turns out. So we'll go to the 7th inning stretch, and we're just going to keep rolling on. Oh, is Baxic a righty? Did I miss that? Oh, he is a righty. You know what? I was thinking that he was a lefty. I don't know why I'm thinking he's a lefty. Probably because of that other Baxic guy, Joel. He was and that other Baxic guy actually was the one that gave up Barry Bonds' record-breaking home run. His 71st home run was given up by Mike Baxic of the Washington Nationals. He was a lefty. I don't know if they're related. I don't know if it's father-son or what that is, but you're right. He is right-handed. I'm just totally – I was thinking of the other Baxic. That was the problem. All right, here we go. Glenn Adams. That's a 14, and that's an out and a 20. Go all the way back to bases empty. It's a line out to wherever the white die is, and that's a line out to second base. So Adams will line out to Remy. One away. And that'll bring up Ron Jackson. 63 for Jackson. Coming over here, 63 is an out, and that's a 20. So it's the same thing we just had. White die is a 3 this time, so he lines it to first. Quickly 2 away for Butch Weiniger. That is a 53, but that's a 1, so that's going to cancel the range check because his KD is 1-2, and that's going to be a strikeout. So he avoided that by having the 1 on the D20 helped him out. We played 7 complete here at Metropolitan Stadium. Score remains Boston 5 and the Twins 2. Do it for the Red Sox in the 8th. It'll be Fisk, Hobson, and Evans, your batters. 46, we're going back to Metropolitan Stadium. That's a 9, and a 9 is a foul ball. So free swing on the house for Mr. Fisk. And a 31, that's a base hit, but we're doing a range check. Homebrew rules of a range check. Get a 45, and that's going to be second baseman. That is Rob Wilfong. We'll check his range. Only has to beat a 6. He ought to be able to do that. And he can. He's a 10, so he took care of that. Easy play there for Wilfong. Took care of Fisk, 1 out. Here's Butch Hobson. 14, that's an out, and that's an 8. Fly ball to center, 2 down. For Dewey Evans. 52, that's an error check, but again, the KD will be overridden because this KD is a 1-3, and that's a 1. So that'll be a strikeout. So that's a rare occasion to have 2 KDs come up with that 1 to override the check of the error or the range check. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 5-2. Rainey has faced 25 batters. He can face 31 as a starter. So he's going to stay in there. Red Sox, in case you're curious, have the following available out of the bullpen. 2 left-handers, Andy Hassler and Tom Bergmeyer. 3 right-handers, Jim Wright, Bill Campbell, and Dick Drago. Those are the guys available out of the bullpen, should they be needed. Right now, Don Zimmer is going to keep with Rainey. That's an 11, and that'll be a base hit, possibly on a 1-8. That's an 18, though, so that's actually going to be an out. Tough break there for Castino. He's going to make an out, and it will be a 15, which is a ground ball too short. So tough break there for Castino. Thought he had something there with that double, but just didn't work out. Here's Rivera. That's a 23, and that's a strikeout. So for Rainey, that is strikeout number 4. He's pitching himself a whale of a game. Hoskin Powell, 33, gets a base hit. Kind of hard to defend doubles sometimes. 2-out single for Hoskin Powell. That is batter number 28. So here comes batter 29. So they'll probably cap him at 8 innings. I doubt they let him finish the game. They'll probably bring in, what depends on if they score anything in the top of the ninth. If it stays a save situation, they'll probably go to Bill Campbell or Dick Drago. If they score more runs, they'll go to somebody else. There's Wilfong, 24, and that's a hit by pitch on a 1-3, but that's a 9, so he's an out. And it will be a fly to left to end the inning. So Rainey's going to go 8 complete. 8 complete. I don't know if he had any complete games. Let's see. Does this sheet tell you about complete games? Yes, it does. Rainey, where are you? There you are. Rainey actually had 4 complete games. So maybe we'll give him a shot to complete the game because he had 4 of them real world. So maybe we'll do that. We'll have to wait and see. Especially if the Red Sox scored any more runs this inning, that could certainly play into that. For the Red Sox here in the top of the ninth, it'll be Evans. Actually, Evans struck out last time. It'll be Allenson. It'll be Allenson, Remy, and Burleson. These cars got out of whack here, so I need to figure out where they belong. Powell made that out here, and then Wilfong. Okay, so I think we're straight there. Smalley leads off the ninth. All right, top of the ninth. Here's Allenson. Hit by pitch modifier. Let's see. Did I have a hit by pitch? I don't think I had a hit by pitch. So I'm not sure what you mean by hit by pitch modifier. I mean, I know there's a modifier on the card, but are you talking about when Castino was batting? I don't know. I'm not sure which last batter. On Wilfong, you mean? I don't know. I didn't do a wild pitch, so I don't know. He just flew to left. He made an out and flew to left. So I'm not sure which. Hello, Triple G. So I'm not sure. Dan, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, right here, he has a 1-3, right? Well, let's see. Rainey has a +1, but I believe that the D20 was way above that. So I think that's what you were talking about. I forgot to check it, but he had a +1. He's got a +1 hit by pitch modifier. So actually, that would make him a hit by pitch on a 1-4. But I'm pretty sure I rolled something much higher than 4. So, but yeah, that's something I need to. When you only play a game once a week, you don't always think to check certain things. But thank you for that reminder. Took me a while to get used to checking the KDs, and the hit by pitches are going to take even longer, I think. All right, here we go. Top of the ninth. Gary Allenson. 41 under Baxic is a base on balls. So that's a leadoff walk. They usually don't end well when you have a leadoff walk. Baxic can face 12 batters, so they're just going to let him pitch down 5-2. Here's Remy. 43, and that's an out. 16, this might be a double play. Runner at first, 16 is a ground out to short. White die 1, runner advances. White die is not a 1. Strong arm shortstop starts a double play, but Smalley a strong arm shortstop. Smalley's an average arm, so he does not start a double play. Instead, it will be a fielder's choice, 6-4. So Allenson is out at first. Remy, the new runner, at second. 1 away for Rick Burleson. 51, and that's above the KD. So it will be an error check. Yet again on the Twins, they've already made 4 errors. Might as well go for a fifth, right? What the heck? 24. And that's an error check on the shortstop, Smalley. So maybe that might help him out. That's an 8. Smalley is a 7. So he makes the play. And would that be a double play? Let's find out. D20 is even, so it's fielder's choice again. 6-4 on the fielder's choice. 2 down now for Fred Lynn. Hello, JC. 12, and that is a walk, so yet another walk. So Twins have been messy this game. Walks and errors have been their downfall. That's going to bring in the big guy, Jim Rice, with 2 on and 2 outs here in the top of the 9th of a 5-2 ball game. Red Sox looking for insurance. 41, and that's another walk from Baksick, and that will load the bases. Third, well, he's walked the bases loaded, basically. And now with Yaz coming up, they're gonna pull Baksick. They can't afford to go any further. They're going to bring in the left-hander. And yes, I will make sure it's a left-hander this time. And that left-hander, the only one they have on their roster that's active is Ken Brett. So Ken Brett, the left-hander, will come on. Even though he's not very good, I'm playing the percentages the way I think they would do it in real world. I'm not looking at the stats after the fact to know that he's terrible, but he's on the roster as a lefty, so that's what they would use him for. Ken Brett is 0-0 with no saves. His ERA was 4.97 in 13 innings of pitching. So he didn't have a lot of innings pitched here. So, but he's going to be facing Yastrzemski with the bases loaded. Going to roll the bullpen session. And that's a 9, so he's on his B grades. But he needs to get Yaz to get out of the inning. 33, that's not the way to do it. 1-18 is a single, and that will be a single. So we'll go to the bases loaded chart, runner advancement, and the D20. We will have to re-roll that because we just used the 18 to see if it was a single or not. Now we get an 8. Bases loaded hit chart with an 8. Center field assist at home. All right, so the run's going to score from third, but the runner on second is trying to come home on an outfield assist chance. Center fielder, Landreau, has an assist rating of 2. So 1-2, they throw him out at the plate. 3, 4, 5, or 6, he scores. And he scores. So it's a 2-run single. 2-run single from Yaz, and that has just blown this thing wide open. Red Sox now lead it 7-2, and Rainey will definitely go for a complete game now. There's no risk in that at the moment. Here's Fisk. 54, we're going to the 54 chart. Wild pitch rating of Brett is a 0, so no wild pitch, which means no pass ball can occur either. So let's see here, 12. Let's see what it says here. Yep, so nothing's going on, so it's a re-roll for the at-bat. 46, we're going to the ballpark. That's a 4. That's going to be a double. A double for Carlton Fisk. A double from Fisk. Now let's see here. I don't think, and Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think we still use the base running advancement chart for base runners because it just says double, but it's all score. My bad. I just read it right here. I answer my own question. So it's a double scoring both runs. And all the inherited runners that Baksick brought on with those walks have now scored 4 runs in the inning for the Red Sox. They now lead it 9-2. And there's Ken Brett's just a sacrificial lamb at this point. They're not going to change pitchers. 24 is finally out on the fly to center, but a 4 spot in the 9th, an Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning. The Red Sox blowing this thing wide open. And that means Rainey has a chance to go for his complete game. He can face 31 batters. He has right now faced 29. So he could go to his C grades if he gets tired and gives up a hit, but they're going to try as best they can to get him that complete game. Here is Roy Smalley. And that's a 54, but nobody's on base, so we'll check and see what other weird stuff might happen. Base is empty, wild. 9. Bases, we go to Wilder chart. So we go to the Wilder chart. We're going to re-roll the D20 and roll an 18. Strike 3, catcher drops ball, throws runner out at first unless batter's run rating is fast, then roll versus the catcher E rating for a wild throw. Roy Smalley is not fast. He is average. So that will be a strikeout, 2-3. Strikeout with a 2-3 notation for those scoring at home, and you know you should be, even on a 9-2 game. Here's Landro, 31. That's a base hit, but we're doing the range, the homebrew range check. So we check for the range. And we're looking at 41, and that is the range of the second baseman, Remy. Get Remy's range check. Remy's range is a 7. That's a 15. That gets by him for a base hit. So base hit for Ken Landro. And that'll send up Glenn Adams, designated hitter. 12, and that's an out. 13, and that's an X, possible double play. Runner at first, and a 13, ground out to first, but with an X, it's a double play. So it's going to turn into a 3-6-3 double play to end the ball game because he had that X rating on that 12. Means he's susceptible to hitting into double plays. So Rainey will get his complete game after all. And the Red Sox will win this one easily by the score of 9-2. And I'll tally up the totals really quickly. Let's see. We know that Goltz gave up 6 hits. Let's see what happened with Baksick when he came in. How many hits do they get? They got not that many because there were so many walks. 2 more hits. So they only got 8 hits. 9 runs on 8 hits. And I don't believe Boston made any errors either. But let's see how many walks they got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got them for 7 walks issued. All right, Rainey, complete game victory. And we see the Twins made 4 errors. How many hits did they manage to get? Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 hits. So that's my final line score that I'm showing. Very messy score sheet. But the line score for the Red Sox, 9 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. For the Twins, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 4 errors. Winning pitcher was Chuck Rainey, complete game victory. Losing pitcher, Dave Goltz. And that's pretty much it here from Metropolitan Stadium. Next Saturday, we'll be at Royal Stadium for the Kansas City Royals hosting the New York Yankees. That will be next Saturday. If you're so inclined to be a golf fan, tonight at around 8 o'clock, I'll play the 4th and final round live of the 2025 Genesis Open from the Riviera Country Club, just outside of Los Angeles, I think it is. And that'll be the back 9. We'll finish off the back 9 live and finish that tournament off. It will end the California swing, as next week we'll be going to Bay Hill out in Orlando for Arnold Palmer's tournament out at the Bay Hill. That'll be next week. We'll start the Florida swing next week. This will finish up the West Coast swing, the Genesis Open, tonight, roughly around 8 o'clock Eastern, back 9. So thank you, everybody, for a tower unboxing video. I don't know if it's worthy of that, Dan. It's just a cheap little tower. So I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, I might just for the heck of it do it. If it comes in before the golf thing, I might do it right when the golf thing starts, or I might do a little short of it. It'd probably be a short, like a minute thing instead of a other one, just to open up the box, put it, set it up and roll a few dice and see what they sound like. So I don't know. Supposed to get here this afternoon, but who knows? I was supposed to get here yesterday. Then I got a notice from Amazon saying it wasn't going to be here till Sunday. Then I got another update saying it's coming today. So Amazon is Amazon. They'll do what they want. So we'll find out. But anyway, thank you all for spending part of your Saturday with me. And again, the Red Sox mauled the Twins by the score of 9-2. And until next Saturday for the NBC Games Week from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, we will see you then. And remember, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you all down the road.